Hello, my name is Holly from My Daily HAED. Thank you for joining me today. Today is the 9th of October 2025 and it's a beautiful day. A bit windy, but a beautiful day here in Northumberland in northern England. So I've got 4 whips to talk about. 3 of them which I don't have. First and foremost is the green baby blanket, and I'll put it somewhere. I'll put it on the screen so you can see it. That was sent off to the recipient because the baby is due the middle of the month, so I wanted it to be there. I was supposed to have the quilt done. That didn't get done. It's not even finished cutting out all the fabrics. I'll talk about that in a bit. The second thing I've got done is my new little granddaughter's socks. While we went to Italy, and I'll have pictures of that later. When we went to Italy, I started the little toes before because I go my knitting socks up toe up. I started the little toes before we went, and I finished the socks while we were there, and the picture will be here. It's they wanted the socks to be, even though she's only 3 months, she's already into like 3 to 6 month clothes, so they wanted socks to last for a while, so I did the 6 to 12 month size, and that's lovely. It was a blessing to be able to do that while we were there, and I kept training her on them cute little feet, and she's stinking adorable. As all, yeah, all grandparents say that, right? Third one is a pair of, well, I bought the yarn for my husband. It's because it's his favorite football / soccer team's colors. He's a fan of West Ham United football club, which is soccer to us Americans. Then anyway, a friend of the family who's like a daughter to us, or a niece or something. We're very close. She helped us buy a new car and drove it here to where we are, which was a long experience. But anyway, when she was here, she saw the yarn and the socks I was making for my husband. She's like, "Oh, that is West Ham." I was like, "Yeah, I didn't know you were a West Ham fan." So of course I immediately stopped making them for my husband and made them for her. The same stitch count, just the length. So because I do toe up, it was quite easy to convert them over to the length that I'm hoping I didn't get them too long. But so those were made and sent off. And the fourth little thing is the little baby that's due this month. I just finished today a pair of little bitty newborn socks, 0 to 3 months. And these, I don't know the particular name of it, but this is in, Vicky Brown Designs yarn. I know it's in this yarn because of the wrapper, but I've misplaced the wrapper. I think this goes to the other yarn I'll show you in a minute on one of the whips, but I do know it was the same yarn. I love her yarn. She has so many. Anyway, so these are super, super adorable. I've only worked on one cross stitch. It's my Santa and animals. After I last recorded my last video, I mean, it took me a while to get it sent out, but I worked on Santa and animals most of that time, but I haven't worked on it very much these last 3 weeks for various reasons. I didn't take it to Italy. There was no space whatsoever for me to lay out my cross stitch things, and I need I need a bright light to work on things. But so this is Santa and Animals, Christmas Scene Santa Animals by Dakota Duttweiler, charted by Charting Creations. Worked on I think 22 count harding, 1/1 full cross, and I'm now at 15.18%. So I've achieved quite a bit, even though I haven't worked, well, considering I haven't worked on it that much in the last 3 weeks. I've only worked on it, I think, 1 day in 3 weeks, which is terrible, but this is going to take me years to finish. And at this moment, I'm kind of under the cosh, as they say here. I'm really under pressure to get this done, to get other Christmas presents done and other gifts done. So Christmas presents and baby birthday, Christmas, and baby presents have just been the theme of this past year or so, which is, it's like I went for years just concentrating on my cross stitch and doing the occasional crafts, but in this last year or so, I wanted to, I don't say I had to, but I took time. I've been needing to take time to accomplish what I wanted to do as gifts. I'm needing to take time away from my cross stitch. Believe me, I would love to do like 100 stitches on Serenity Lane, which is on pause at the moment, and I'd love to work the rest of the day on Santa and animals. But for me to accomplish what I want to do for gifts, and yeah, socks will wear out, but the other the blankets and the quilts that I make, which I've got on my roster of things to get done, they last for so long if people take care of them. I've showed y'all my green and white blanket, crocheted blanket that my grandmother made me. She gave it to me on my 13th birthday. I'm gonna soon be 58. So the present's been around for what, 45? Well, yeah, 45 years. So I'm happy to make things that will last, and it will, after I die, will hopefully give people good memories. And even if it gets given to a charity shop or an op shop or thrift shop or whatever people want, if it's given away or sold, and I'm hoping that whoever has it will appreciate what's there, right? It's only been a few times in my life that a handmade gift that I've made wasn't appreciated, which was really sad. But the joy and appreciation that people have that I've received over the years for all the things I've made for people, and I've probably made hundreds if not thousands of things for other people, it makes giving special. I love giving things to people, things that I've put time, energy, and love into. Sorry for that soliloquy. sorry for the going off topic. Anyway, so Santa and animals will just have to wait. It will wait patiently for me. I still want to get it done, and every time I work on it, I just want to keep working on it. But let me get through. I've got, goodness gracious, I'm at this moment in time, I'm just focusing to get through a number of gifts that I've got planned, and I'll try to. Rest of what I've got is all knitting. There's some quilts in the planning, and 2 more crocheted blankets in the planning. But at this moment in time, the rest of it's knitting. For the people who don't like the knitting, I'm sorry. That's I've only got the one thing of cross stitch. As much as I would like to have time to do cross stitch, but I can't do any more than what I'm already doing. Okay. So, like I just said, I am concentrating on Christmas presents for various different people, and I've tried to get all the yarns, but I don't know. First and foremost, I've got these. I've started the toes on 4 of the Christmas socks, or 5 of the Christmas socks. So I've started 5 of the Christmas socks, and I've got potentially another 5 to get if I can get them done. I don't think I'll be able to get them done, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it the good old try and get it done. But Anyway, these are, I think they're Head Over Heels by Stylecraft. Oops. And my socks, I don't usually start them at the same break. I don't care if they're identical. And no one has ever said that they didn't like the socks that I gave them that weren't identical. In fact, my husband prefers them when they're, but these aren't for my husband, but these are for a little girl. And no one's ever said that they, if someone had said to me they preferred identical starts, I would go out of my way to do them. But this is, I do 2 at a time, two at a time, going in cross stitch things. I'm trying to hurry because my husband's gonna be home from work. I do two at a time socks, toe up, and I do vary the heels. And these are, I think these are 2.25 circular needles, and usually I try to use a 100 centimeter. And for the bigger socks, I'll even go higher than that if I need to. But that's one pair of socks for a little girl. Now these are the socks I've started to, oops, this is all messy. This is a yarn I was saying, West Ham, you know, kind of West Hammy colors. My husband says it's the way kit or something, whatever it's called. But anyway, because I used up, and this is another Vicki Brown Designs yarn, because I used up the so much of this yarn on the other pair of socks and gave it to our pseudo, to the other person. He asked me to, and I told him I was going to do contrast toes, and he's like, oh, do contrast heels too. So he's going to have heels in this color as well, but I just divided the little 20 into 2 little balls. I don't do, for my granddaughter's socks, the little ones, the pink and blue ones, I did do them out of 1 ball of yarn, but I found it so fiddly trying to keep it untangled because, you know, as it goes off it twists and turns a lot. So I try always to separate. You know, that was the first time I think it's the first time I'd ever done that. But anyway, that's another one. So this one is West Yorkshire Spinners Color Lab, and this one is Rock, and this is for a young man, size 12, UK socks. So they're going to be quite, this is DK yarn. Those other 2 I've just shown you were 4-ply or fingering weight. So these are DK socks, so hopefully they'll go quickly soon. Well, they are going quickly. They're super thick. I'm about 1.5 inches away from putting the toes in, I think. Not the toes, putting the heels in. And then they should go really quickly to that. Excuse me. Fourthly, these are I'm even in the middle of the row, not the middle of the row, middle of the socks. These are from another young lady. These are Head Over Heels, Stylecraft Head Over Heels, and these are Nativity, so they're Christmas socks, and they're sparkly. So my only thing about these are that they are, the yarn isn't soft. It's got a bit of a, not a scratch, but it's a coarser texture to it. And now I didn't take the red socks to Italy with us. I took the ones that I gave to that young lady. I took these and got some of that done. I took these, and because I was mostly working on the grandbaby's socks, I didn't do much else. The other one I started this. This is another one. It's on hold for the moment because it's for for an older person, you know, for a guy, and he's, the way I look at it, kids come first, right? Kids get their Christmas presents first, and if I need to, yeah, I'll either say to him I couldn't get it done in time, or I'll just get him a store-bought gift. But anyway, oh, and one other thing is I started, my daughter-in-law's birthday was last month, and I found out, I just lost some stitches, oh crumbs, fudge buckets, hold on just a second. Ugh. Let me try to save these stitches. I don't want to start over again, because sometimes I have to do that because I make such a mess of it. Anyway, that's what I get for putting it down. But I wanted to start it because I bought the yarn at Home Bargains, called that Handmade with Love with Love cable knit yarn. So my daughter-in-law, I made, you know, that little bit thick white baby blanket I made for the grandbaby, you know, my son's little daughter. Well, we didn't know it was a girl at the time, but my daughter-in-law fell in love with that blanket. Of course, the blanket is only baby sized, and she said to my son that she would love to have a blanket like that for herself in white. So I don't like white. I don't like working in white, but it's better than black. Working in black in dark blue are terrible for my eyes. But anyway, so this is what I'm doing now. But there's no way I can't do. I've got so many other things going that this will be. I'll try to get it done for next September. So put more gifts onto the thing. So she knows, my son knows it's coming. I don't know if he's told her that, but that will be for her birthday present next September. I've got, the projects I've got in the wings that I haven't shown you is I've got that baby blanket that's should already be sent off. I've already told the recipient that I will post it to America as soon as possible, but at this point in time I just haven't been able to do it. I don't have any dedicated sewing space, and trying to drag in, where you're sitting is like a table in the corner of our living room, so being able to sew here and do the cutting out and stuff is a juggling act. To add to all the Socktopia that I have to do, or that I've been promised to do, I now have another quilt another quilt it'll be baby size or a little bit bigger for someone, someone to put on their couch. Another quilt for another crocheted Afghan blanket. I've 5 more socks to cast on, and I'm supposed to get all this done before Christmas. Well, I'm supposed to get a crocheted blanket. I wanted to get a crocheted blanket done for my husband, but that's going to have to be moved over to Valentine's. And then after, and also in February, I've either, if I can find the time after Christmas, if I get all the Christmas presents done, or I might just have to do everything. I might have carry on. Adult presents. I'll do all the kids first, and then I'll do the adults afterwards, and just say, okay, well, I might spend all of January finishing the adult presents, and then I've got at least a pair of birthday socks, or it will be a crocheted blanket, not crocheted, a quilt, a twin size quilt. So I don't know if I'm going to get that done, and then I've got a crocheted blanket to go for due in May, early May. And then I had the idea of 18th birthday quilt, a double sized, full size quilt. But as much as I'm willing, it's about being able to accomplish all of this. So I might just go get Christmas presents out of the way and just say to everybody, you're only getting socks for Christmas and birthday this year. Because I can do the socks quite quickly, especially since the birthdays are spaced out. It wouldn't be so much of a problem. But yeah, I'm in present mania at the oh dear. So that's where I am. So everything's like, how many balls can I be juggling up in the air? Metaphorically, I'm terrible at juggling. My husband can juggle, but I can't do it. I juggle craft projects. How's that? Italy. Italy was. It was, like we say, the drive up and down the mountain was terrifying. I mean, we're talking about a little teeny tiny road. It wasn't even a proper 2-lane road most of the time, and the road was up against the wall of the mountain, and some parts of the road up had no guardrail, so you were looking down into the valley. So if you go over that, you're going to fall hundreds of feet, if not more, which was terrifying for a person who's not fond of heights like I am. And every time you go around the corner, you have to beep really hard and let the people, to warn people that there's a car coming on, otherwise you'll be a head-on collision. The place we were staying, it was a lot smaller than my son had anticipated, but it was comfortable. It was warm, and it had a gorgeous patio, barbecue area with seating area, and the view of the other side of the mountain, the view over the valley, and then the mountains on the other side. And the day after we got there, we woke up in the morning and all the mountain peaks were like snow-capped. So off and on the snow would, it was like that for a few days. We went into Marbella a couple of times, actually 3 times, and then we went to Colico, which was on Lake Como, and you've got photos. You got photos of, I've got photos of a hike that I did with my son on the last day we were there, and which I pulled a muscle at the gym a few weeks ago, and unfortunately that hike down the mountain really did a number on that pulled muscle, and then traveling the next morning with lots of ups and downs and steps, and lots of steps of walking, and lots of steps up to the plane, lots of steps down to the plane, and anyway, so I'm hop along Holly at the moment, so just hopping around. And of course it's my dominant leg, so every time I go up the steps, I keep wanting to go up on that leg, which re-injures it. It's a process. So I'm super chatty today. I haven't had a chance to talk to y'all very much. Yeah, I wish I had more time. I miss not visiting y'all every week. I really miss it, and I've overcommitted myself yet again in gifts, and it will hurt my heart if I don't get them all done, at least soonish after I've promised them. So Italy was lovely. Lake Como and the little town Colico was a very sweet place to be. Marbella was lovely. There's gonna be lots of photos. Oh, one thing I wanted to say, the slideshow. All right, the slideshow. Some of the photos, the nicer photos, will probably be from my son's phone, because he took a load of photos. But my daughter-in-law and my son, they take the baby for a walk every day. They put her in like a carrier, and they will go for a hike. And the baby loves being outdoors. But one particular day, they were walking down the road, and they looked up at a house, and there was a sheep on top of the house. They were like, what? And then they realized, that because it's very steep. So basically the house was near enough to the rise of the hill behind it that the sheep was able to jump onto the top of the house, but there's right on the top of the house. But I thought it was hilarious, and I wanted my son, and I asked my son to send me that, so that, because he brought it home, and I was just like, that's just so amazing. There were plenty of goats. There were people walking their goats. They had them on little leashes and walking their goats. Those long-haired, kind of like the ones from Sound of Music, the puppets. And they looked kind of like those kind of goats, because they had the horns and the long shaggy, but they were quite they were walking them around like they were dogs or something. It was quite fun. Like I said, I'll put the photos after. I'll put the photos after this, the slideshow, the photos and little videos. Y'all have a beautiful autumn, and I will see you when I see you. And y'all take care. Bye.